So what's life's secret? I mean, we're all looking for happiness. We're all looking for a relationship. We're all looking for money. We are just trying to be happy individuals. But there's one thing that I think really matters to us that helps us achieve all these different things, helps build the baseline that can get us those things that we want. You know, a lot of times I think we get so scattered about, well, to achieve money, I have to get X, Y, and Z to be able to get the money. And to achieve that relationship, I need to get X, Y, and Z. Or perhaps the relationship, right, is I'm so dependent on that relationship, I forget about myself. I think it all derives from yourself. What are you doing for yourself? Like anything, it all depends on what you are doing, how you feel, your mental state. And if your mental state is in shambles, everything else in your life will be in shambles. You know, you have to go to the root of the problem to be able to fix these things. And a lot of times we look for the simple patch that will maybe help us feel better in the short term. But you realize that those short-term fixes, that you become so reliant on it, that once it diminishes, leaves out of your life, you're right back to where you started. Right? The depression comes back, maybe because you lost a relationship. Maybe, the realization that, hey, I don't have the skills to get back to where I was making that money. There's a lot of different things, but again, the root is always back to yourself. So my opinion, my thoughts, my ideas, it's been something I've really been thinking about lately, is how can you change everything in life and make things better? How can you keep your motivation? How can you, live a happier life? Get those things that you want in life. And realize that, hey, if I lose something, I know there's an abundance of other things, so I'm okay. But how do you get to that mindset? This is something I don't see a lot of people talking about. It's easy to generalize stuff and be like, well, you can think this way, do this way, but how do you do that? Because a lot of times we want the quick fix, only to realize that, again, those things, as soon as that fix wears off, we're right back to where we started. And that's within ourselves, is developing ourselves, right? I think the secret to life is finding our purpose. But it's not just finding your purpose, because a lot of times I think you can go through life and just not know what your purpose is. And I'm one of those people that it changes with the seasons, it changes with your age, it changes with your experiences. I think your purpose changes throughout life. You find different things you're interested in that you want to essentially proceed after, or there's something else that happens in your life. Maybe there's a major event that happens in your life that changes it for you. Then you get new perspective, and so your purpose changes. But for me, myself, I think finding your purpose is what's going to drive you to all these great things, and whatever comes along the way is a benefit. The relationship, the money, the job, maybe you're the kind of person that wants to go out and open a business. Maybe it's that business, right? All these different things come from your drive, your passion for chasing a purpose in your life. If you don't have that purpose, you can get lost along the way, and then you're just washed up with whatever life will give you. And at that point, life seems hard. Not to say that even when you have a purpose, it's not hard, but you're more willing to tackle those obstacles in your way when you have a purpose, because you're driven by something within yourself. I think if you don't love, respect yourself, and take care of yourself, how can you essentially distribute that to somebody else or to something else that's wanting to push you, motivate you, to drive you to chase after those other things? And so I've been really dwelling on this the past couple days, and it's trying to find that passion. And how do you find that passion is by doing things that you don't normally do, is by breaking out of the routine that you normally are in. And a lot of us, we live completely different lives. Some of us have kids, some of us don't, some of us are extremely busy doing We have other obligations in our life that tie us up, tie up a good chunk of our day, but it's important to schedule those times, or realize that those times that we're sitting in front of the TV, we just don't want to think, is to push ourselves to find those things that we've always wanted to do and go after them and see what's open and get new perspective, read some books. Get a new perspective on life. It's those experiences that will really open up your eyes to new possibilities. And it's extremely helped me a lot, and to find passion and motivation out of nowhere, because that is extremely hard to find. You can go on here on YouTube and you can search motivational videos and you get excited because you watch something and you're ready to rock and roll. And then again, quick fix. And then you find out after about an hour that motivation wears off, right? And you don't know what to do anymore. And so if you look for your purpose in life, what is your purpose? What is something that you want in life? That takes going out and being aware of what's going on. What is that thing that is really driving you to want to keep going? That's what you have to find. It's that curiosity about, okay, well, there's a new perspective on this one thing that I wasn't really excited about before, but now that I got more intricate with it and understood it better, it excites me now. And then when you start going down that rabbit hole, you realize, man, there's more to this than I actually thought. You have this chain reaction to other thoughts and ideas, and then you just keep exploring. And that's what keeps the motivation going. That's why it's so important to keep learning, keep getting new perspective, and going for experiences that you don't typically do. You should dedicate that time every week. Maybe you only have 15 minutes during the week. Take that 15 minutes for yourself and just explore it. We all want those things in life, and I can tell you that from my experiences, that those quick fixes just aren't going to help you. Because I've been victim to those quick fixes, and although they do feel great at the time, in that moment, you realize that it will wear off. And then you're right back to where you started. And if you can constantly feed, some kind of audiobook or podcast or something else in your life that can give you new perspective, then you get more excited about going through life, being a more positive person, because you realize that there's more out there. It's when you're not doing these things that, you become like secluded, you silo yourself off from the world. And then you start thinking in stuff of scarcity, that I only have, this job, I only have this relationship, you start putting limitations on yourself, right? About you can only do this, you can only do that. And it's not finding your purpose and your drive. Because once you find that purpose in your life, even like myself, I don't have an exact purpose, but I know the more I do this, the more excited I get about it, the more I want to go out and see and what else is out there in life. What else can I do? And I pick up things along the way that help me be a more positive person, helps me become more happy, helps me become more driven to want to achieve more. And this is where you find that passion for life, because you're excited. There are times in my life where I felt like I didn't really care what tomorrow brought. And when you change that perspective, when you find these things and you start going out and realizing that life isn't what it seems to be. Like, life is what you make it. Life is what you tolerate in life, and life is actually what you put into action to go achieve those things. And when you start achieving things that you thought you couldn't do, because you didn't silo yourself into believing that you can't achieve that because someone told you can't, you realize that, man, I think I found my purpose, at least for the meantime. And again, that will change. And so when you're looking for the secret to life, it's about your purpose. It's about seeking those things outside of you that you're unaware of. And then again, every now and again, you'll come across something, especially if you haven't done this at all, you'll come across a lot. Like when I first started this journey, I came across a lot of different things that got me excited. Like, I want to research that, I want to get into this. I changed my life on that. And I would go over here and find something else I was curious about. And I started changing stuff in my life. And realizing my life started becoming more positive. I was more motivated to go out and do stuff and to do these things, because even though I would be tired because I was busy, I had reason to do it. I had a purpose in life. And when you don't have purpose, I think you get lost. Then this is when the bad side of you comes out and you start blaming things, right? And you start forcing other things to bring you joy, bring you that temporary, fulfillment, because you're missing it in your life because you don't have that purpose anymore. And this can be really hard, and I know it's tough, but just spend that little bit of time and allow yourself that time. And just keep going. And life will get better. And all these things that you wanted in life, you realize that, hey, I don't have to focus on that relationship. I don't have to focus on that job. I don't have to focus on my happiness. I forget about those things. I concentrate on myself. And then I realize that, hey, as finding my purpose, seeking my purpose, things just start naturally getting drawn towards you, because you're giving off that vibe that you know what you want, because you're curious and you're motivated to go out and seek these things. They just naturally start coming into your life in more abundance. And that's what's exciting. That's the secret of life. So I hope this helps you guys. And if it has, remember to hit the like button so this video can get out to other people who perhaps are struggling in life. And until next time, I will see you guys later.